me explain to you simply about the whole issue of the reflecting pool and what people on all sides were getting wrong. First off, the whole entire issue of getting it drained and repaired and such was not really needed the way that was happened for several reasons. One, it's costly. It's not really necessary to do so because it's more of a vanity project. And of course, Trump wanted to waste our taxpayer money on a vanity project, so to basically glorify his own self and to stroke his own narcissistic ego. That's all it really was about, his own ego trip. But here's the things that people don't realize with the money issue. He didn't get permission to do so because this is not something that the president's supposed to do or anybody within the executive branch is supposed to do. This actually has to do with going to oversight committee, communities, and other organizations that have to deal with this particularly. This is not like, oh, the president can do whatever he wants. No, he can't. He actually broke the law doing this and using government money, in other words, taxpayer money, to pay for this. That was all illegal, and it was not authorized by any official committee that actually oversees of these kind of things, and also was not even authorized to do so by Congress. Congress holds the purse strings on this matter. So he's literally robbing the bank with, that's all illegal. And the thing is that even if you did pass and everything was said, okay, here's the other thing that's illegal, is that he picked a company that he has connections with and financial, connections. In other words, he makes money from it. Yeah. And technically you're supposed to be doing, and it's always been this way, is the lowest bidder gets the damn job, and they have to do is provide that they could actually perform it. Now, this company is a pool company that has no, skills in doing something this massive. And plus, they were not the low ball. They were just, here's their price, an extraordinary amount of money, and it was just greenlit because of Trump, because he wanted to line his pockets. That's the whole thing. It was about lining of pockets and an ego stroking thing. Now, when Trump specified that he wanted it blue, a crystal clear blue, and people misunderstood, because from listening to him, you're thinking that they're going to paint the whole entire thing blue like the bottom of a pool. It ended up being painted multiple shades of different blue because they couldn't get enough of the material all at once to paint such a large field to do so, to seal it. But they were able to seal it to a degree that is acceptable, I guess. And if you're wondering, oh, we won over the libs, that kind of bullshit, at least the pool company didn't use the blue that is normally the color for the bottom of the pools, because that type of blue does not do well for reflecting. To be a reflecting pool kind of thing. You have to have it a dark color at the bottom for it to be a reflecting pool. That's the only way. That's why it actually worked as a reflecting pool in the first place, because originally it was a gray to a very dark gray, and changed over time, but yeah, that's what happened. But the biggest problem that people misunderstood about the whole thing was it's not like, oh, just drain it and, just scour the thing clean to get whatever algae and then paint it, with the colored sealant and filling that back up, it'll be fine. No, you're still going to have the algae problem because they didn't bother to do was flush out all of the piping and also to repair the infrastructure that goes underneath, because that would have been a much more costly and time consuming event. They would literally have to, if they were going to do it correctly, they would have to rip out the whole entire thing and repair it from the ground floor up, and also the plumbing, because that is very old plumbing that needed to be replaced anyways. They're not going to do that because you have to have is actual plumbers, not some dipshits that actually just know how to spray, paint sealant on the bottom and shit. Anybody could do that. I'm not saying that the people that were doing it were just dipshits, but the ones in control of all this, yes, were. And MAGA is the biggest set of ridiculous dipshits that believe that they won over the libs without understanding the whole thing. And here's the thing that I already knew what was going to happen. Algae is going to happen because they didn't bother to repair any of the things. Because here's the thing that why I said you have to rip it all apart and basically rebuild the whole thing. Even if you put a sealant on it, it's going to be leaking anyways, because that was the issue for a long time with it. And also the plumbing issue, and of course you have to have is filters. The filters is to basically clean it, and for a large surface like that, you have to continually maintaining it like a goddamn pool, which means, like, if you ever wonder why your swimming pool doesn't have algae, it's probably because you put in the cleaner, or you have pool guys that do it regularly on every week to basically flush out the system and put new pool cleaner. You would have to put a lot of pool cleaner in that particular pool and make sure that there is enough cleaning agents to basically clean the thing, to make sure there's no algae. Yeah. Since they didn't do any of that shit, or any repairs of the infrastructure of the reflecting pool, or even the plumbing, or even flushing out the systems, or anything like that, or changing out the filtration systems, or even basic maintenance, on a weekly basis of putting, enough, chemicals, in the system to basically clean it. So, yeah, you end up with the same problem within less than a week or two. It just goes back green and slimy looking. That's kind of what is going to happen. I already knew that was going to be the case no matter what, and that's what it is. So, this is kind of the whole thing. It's a vanity project that no one bothered to even really look beyond the surface about what is the whole thing. And of course, it's a big grift to steal more money. But still, yeah, that's why it's green. It's because the algae, because they never cleaned it properly or did anything that they should have. I'm sorry that you didn't figure this out sooner, but I kind of find it funny. By the way, if you're wondering, like, why I posted this now, because there was so much of people posting beforehand of complete misinformation and what up against the libs kind of nonsense on that narrative. But, okay. Bye-bye!